Hey, this is Pamela Schneider, Retail Editor for Blue Book Services, and I have Anne-Marie here from 210 Analytics, and we are talking the latest week of IRI sales numbers. This is week ending April 12th? Yes, April 12th. And what were some of the key things that you saw when you were putting together the analysis for PMA?
Well, just as a quick reminder, April 12th is Easter week. So I think we're pretty used to having big Easter numbers and big Easter bumps. So I think I was expecting a big jump in that regard. And we certainly saw a little bit of a jump. But compared to some of the other departments, I want to say that yet again, fresh produce feels like it is falling behind, especially when you're comparing it to fresh meat. There, the increase was well over 30% again, and total produce was up about 16% for total fresh. Vegetables are doing extremely well. They were up 26%. But we continue to see a little bit of a struggle for fresh fruit, and that's something I think we really need to look into as stores. I mean, just thinking about it, I believe fruit is one of those, the eyes decide, the nose decides, the beautiful displays have an enormous impact on these impulse purchases. So going forward, as people are trying to reduce their number of trips to stores, what is that going to do to impulse sales, especially for items like berries and cherries and peaches and everything that is around the corner? And, you know, what is it going to do with the fruit consumption? Where are people's heads in that? And we continue to see huge jumps in canned and in frozen, both in veg and fruit. But fresh produce, it's certainly doing great. It's hard to believe that we're kind of laughing at, or not laughing at, but doubting that 16% and feel like it feels low, even though we're over 16% up. But yeah, so mixed results, I would say.
Yeah, mixed results. And you mentioned about fruit, and one of my big concerns when I see these numbers is that we are here in the end of April. We're rounding out the corner of April, and we've got summer fruit coming up very soon. Watermelons are already, domestic watermelons in Florida, those are already harvesting. The Watermelon Board has just launched a new campaign to encourage consumers to buy watermelons at the store, and talking about shelf life. Shelf life is a major concern for a lot of people with fruit, and even in my social media, I've been encouraging people to think of fruit and think of a lot of the shelf life opportunities there are in fruit. And just to your point about it being such an impulse purchase, I had a quick buy this weekend. I needed something. I was making bagels. Some ingredient I'd never bought before. I thought I'll run around the corner to Whole Foods 365. It's right here by my house. And it's actually one of the less busy stores, so there's not very many people in there. But I walked in, and there was an amazing display of champagne mangoes for a fancy price. And I would not have bought those if I hadn't been in there and that impulse purchase. And that is the key to fruit purchases. When we talk about the power of produce that you presented at SEPC, you mentioned that a lot of people, when they shop with a list, they don't specifically have each different item of fruit on their list. They just put fruit. And when you're shopping digitally, or when you're shopping with your tunnel vision on, trying to get in and out and keep your social distance, maybe people aren't getting the message of the opportunity buy that fruit can be.
Yeah, I absolutely think that's part of it. People are trying to rush through the store. When they go in store, we're seeing continued big jumps in online. And then in online, I think what you do is you either shop off your list of items in case you've already bought online before, or you sit in the pantry and you open your fridge and you kind of start adding items. But to your point, you're not seeing that the strawberries are looking absolutely amazing, or in your case, the mangoes, or whatever the item might be. So there's, I think, definitely going to be an issue with the lack of impulse purchases in fruit. So I think trying to figure out a way, how can we drive that same impulse purchase online, is an incredibly important thing to do. And the second one is what can you figure out in terms of teaching people items for now and items for later. As we all know, there are, like, bananas have done that pretty well the last couple of years, where they show exactly if you buy this kind of green banana, it will be done in X many days, and the yellow banana is for now. How can we create something like that across multiple fruits? And then just figuring out multiple consumption occasions, I think, is very important. We know America is back to baking, so there are so many different ways of using fruit in baking. I saw some fantastic recipe on Coburn's website, for instance, where they used ripe bananas for making banana bread, or blueberries for blueberry bread, and those kinds of ideas. And thirdly, and we've been harping on this in the Power of Produce a lot as well, is that whole idea of nutrition and all the goodness in fruit and the nutritional value and the vitamin C and what have you. And as an industry, we've always had that health halo of produce is healthy, everybody knows it. So we haven't worked on a lot of the nutrition as much as some of the other departments in the specialty center store. And I think right now, this is just a very important time to remind people of nutrition and all the value that fruit and vegetables bring.
Well, and even just in the snacking occasions, yesterday, for example, my kids asked for a bowl of fruit, and I did crisper clean out, and that included a bunch of plums that had been in my crisper drawer for a month, apples that had been there for a lot longer than that. And I'm seeing organizations promote the shelf life of what they've got and how to manage it. Avocados, for example, back here in your report, you mentioned that the avocados from Mexico had been releasing materials within your grocery pickup item that showed how to ripen and then how to store. And I've actually shared a pro tip from my avocado experience that people don't know.
Right here.
Yeah, there.
Yeah. So just to explain that real quick, I picked up my grocery order, and here was a little brown bag used to ripen. And a flyer that talked about avocados for now, avocados for later. They showed exactly what the items look like, how you can ripen them at home by putting them in the bag with a banana or an apple. Great idea to have people buy more than what they need right now, or more than they would buy without having this knowledge.
Well, I've blown my friends' minds lately, because a lot of people don't know that you can take a ripe avocado and put it in the fridge. And it will last. I saw an avocado company say 2 to 3 days. I'm talking more like 2 to 3 weeks. Right. As long as it's right before you put it in the fridge. I keep mine in the crisper drawer. I buy 2 bags of avocados at once, ripen them, and then I've got an avocado. It's like my crisper drawer is the shrine of perpetual avocados. And this is such mind-blowing information for a lot of people. They don't realize that you can actually keep them around for that long. And then it's perfect for your sourdough avocado toast. There's a lot of information out there, and I really think that retailers, I follow almost every retailer on social media. I want to see more information on special buys, opportunity buys, things that are ripe right now, things that are their peak season. We've got strawberries entering the peak of California season. And I haven't seen anything like that on most of my retailers' social media pages. People are on social media all day long right now. And I think there's a really great opportunity to promote that there.
Well, I think